Hello and welcome to another video for Auto Solutions Checkpoint. And you're not going to believe this here, right? I've got another £500 challenge, but this one was cheaper than £500. I got a 2009 Mini 1. It has the notorious broken water pipe at the back of the engine. Engine has been pressure tested and everything seems fine. It's got a slight misfire as well. I'm going through to collect it now. Big shout out to Kev out in West Linton, White Moss Garage, for making this happen. I hope you like the Mini. Seems quite decent condition. Obviously it's not fixed yet, so I don't know. I haven't even heard it run, but I've been assured it does run. So ineffectively, although I've seen it, it's still a blind buy. Because as soon as I seen it, I was like, look, I'll just get this here. And it's got 2 keys as well. I don't know how many owners it's had, but it's got 2 keys, and that's always a plus. I think it's just over 100,000 miles on the clock as well. It's grey, the alloys, they're kind of drab looking, but it is what it is. It's not claiming to be anything it isn't. As most of you already know, the Minis, especially the older Minis, are rife for gearbox problems and also head gasket problems as well. So the alarm bells were ringing whenever he mentioned misfire. I'm hoping that it'll just be a case of putting I think it's HT leads on them, I'm not sure. It could be coils, so it could either be a coil or an HT lead or something. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. It's cheap motor, still quite a modern looking car. It's the newer shape, I think it's the r56. r56, if that means anything to you. So it's generally the kind of nicer finished off shape. It is currently 8:10 in the morning. So I'm just basically coming directly from a job, so heading straight through here. I'm about 30 minutes away, and hopefully we get good content for the channel. It's still MOT'd, by the way. It's MOT'd till June or July. Something's telling me it's July, but if I can get it quickly fixed, take it in, get it validated, it should be pretty minted. Oh yeah, that water pipe, I've already ordered it last night, and as it's a challenge, I've just ordered it off eBay, and it was only like £9 for the pipe. It's just basically like a wee plastic pipe that comes from the water pump at the back of the engine, and for some reason it splits. But I suppose everything's biodegradable now. It'll just be a whole stripping match to get to it. The inlet manifold needs to come off, basically strip down at the back to gain access to it, and replace, bleed the system, and then hopefully we'll have a tasty wee car for the channel. One thing's for sure, the winter is definitely here. It's so cold today. Don't know whether it's my age catching up with me or it genuinely is bitter, but I am freezing. I'm more a shorts and t-shirt kind of guy, and as the years progress, needing to surrender some days and put some trousers on. But yeah, winter's definitely here. I've seen 3 snowplows in the space of 15 minutes. They're out gritting the roads, but apparently there's forecasts for snow, which is something I really don't want to deal with. I just hope this year isn't a bad one for snow, because I'm working outside. I really don't want to be working out in that snow. But it is what it is, and if it's snowing, I'm just going to need to just grin and bear it, because it ain't going to pay the bills sitting on my backside. And see, at the same time, see with these challenges that I'm doing that I hope to make a profit, the bit that's concerning me more recently is the decline in the motor trade. Vehicles had COVID tax on them and they were ridiculously priced. They're now heading back to what they were before, and see, to be honest, it's not looking good, because it's looking good if you're buying stuff to use, but buying stuff to sell, there's going to be less of a profit margin for it. Because I can remember when, see, if you needed to put money into a vehicle, right, you wouldn't get it back whenever you go to sell it, because the market value for that car is around what you've just spent on it. I'm hoping it doesn't get like that and I end up lumbered with 2 cars. But at the end of the day, they're both desirable in their own way. The Mini 1, quite a nice looking little car, quite popular with women, guys as well. I'm not being sexist here. They're quite popular on the modified car scene as well, so if this year one is a good example, I stand more of a chance selling it, because it's only the 1.4 engine. it would be cheaper to run and also cheaper to insure, I would assume. The Audi TT on the other hand, it's 200 brake horsepower and it's desirable, and you could generally use that every day. So you could, because it's not the soft top. Looking at it from that angle, somebody wanting a wee flash car, and they still seem to be holding their money, because 2009 ones are still going for about 3.5 to 4 grand. I'm not holding my breath that it'll stay like that. I just have a feeling that it's going to drop, and it's going to drop quickly. But I'm really going to watch what I'm spending. I don't want to overspend and end up like, what was it? That wee Fiesta. Considering what I paid for that Fiesta, because I did kind of overspend considering what I put into it and what I never really got back, because it was only like minimum profit, maybe 100 quid or something, and it wouldn't even touch the sides with my time and my effort that I put in, you know. And whenever I'm doing this here, I'm never really taking into consideration my time and my effort. It's usually just whatever the parts cost and whatever, but I never factor in my time. Really I should, but at the same time that would soon eat into my profit as well. Very slow moving traffic here, typical at this time of the morning. So we're currently 5 minutes away and it's snowing. So bloody annoying. You can tell over in the distance it's got the makings of a nice day, but it's snowing. So basically West Linton is a valley. So that's us just coming into West Linton, and you can see over in the distance it's got big gusts of snow. I don't know what the councils would be like clearing the roads or whatever, but such a lovely wee town though. It's a very nice little town. Because West Linton is so high up, it's a valley but it's quite high up. It's higher up than anywhere else. It's higher up than where I live anyway. So here she is, covered in snow. £118,000 miles. Tidy enough inside. So let's see if it's held a charge to start this. Nah, hasn't held a charge. Lovely little dash setup with the wee tweakers and that. It's annoying that there's no CDs left in it. So I'm over the moon. I had a wee look in the glove compartment and it's got all of its booklets, and it even has its service book as well. This here wee one as well, that's for its first service. So its first service was carried out on time. Right, this here has got a service history up till 2021. My big mate that I got this off has took care of the maintenance ever since. So he'll have his own receipt, so that's promising. I can get him to update the book. And let me see what we've got here. So it's had a service at 14,000 mile, service at 30,000 mile, a service at 53. No, that can't be right. Hold on. I think that's a 3. Service at 33,000 mile, service at 50,000 mile, 73,000 mile, 81,000 mile, 91,000 mile, 94,000 mile, and then there's nothing. Now bear in mind this car has done 118,000 miles. Big Kev has done one service on this, so I would say everything would be consistent on this, and fair enough to say that it's had a full service history. So Yeah, noticed a couple of things in the glove compartment. I don't want to bring them out because they've got customer details and that on them, but there was a note for Central Car Auction as well, and there's also a receipt for the sale in 2022 with the company. But I think it's a bit silly for the company to sell a vehicle to a private buyer and leave Central Car Auction crap and that inside it. So make what you may of that. I'm satisfied, and at the end of the day, that's all that counts. Everything looks alright inside, you know, it's quite presentable looking car. Got like wee sun visors and that as well. Jesus handles in the back as well. It would be good if they would actually put a Jesus handle here as well. Right, well anyway, as you can tell, I'm chuffed with what I've bought. I can't really grumble. Because looking at it this way, if it's serious, if it's a big serious problem with this, I can always dismantle the car, because I reckon there would still be decent money in breaking it, in all honesty. Good news, I emailed Kev and he's emailed me the receipt for the last service. So it was serviced at 115,000 miles, so 3,000 miles ago. It had oil filter, air filter, pollen filter, 2 rear brake calipers, rear brake pads, 2 rear brake discs, brake wear indicator, a wheel bolt, bulb, MOT, and then I have another receipt for 4,000 miles ago. Had a new tyre fitted, a near side front coil spring, a near side front strut top mount, centre part of the exhaust, fit new handbrake cable, fit anti-roll bar link as well. So the centre part of the exhaust and fittings, the tyre, the near side front coil spring, near side front strut top mount, anti-roll bar link, handbrake cable. Right, so that bill came to £414.25. The previous one that I just said to you, it came to £945.92. So I would say, well, I'll not need to service it, but it'll just be a case of trying to sort the pipe out and getting it running a little bit better. But I'm going to give it my undivided attention next week and then take it from there. But it desperately needs a clean. It's times like this here that you really benefit from keeping a good rapport with other motor traders, because I find too much over the years there's motor traders that are against each other. You know, in the motor trade they can be very, very catty, but if you have a good rapport with everybody you deal with, treat everybody the way you want to be treated and don't get on like a complete twat, and you'll just be fine. It has its perks, because if there wasn't a good rapport, I wouldn't have got that kind of information. So at least I can stand by that car and say that it has been well maintained. It's got a decent enough pedigree for resale, and it's got 2 keys. I'm not sure on the owners. I take a wild guess and say maybe 3 owners from new. 4 owners. It's had 4 owners from new. So in the space of 13 years, it's had 4 owners. Nobody's really held on to it. Suppose it is what it is. Obviously, I can't get that kind of information unless I do a car vertical check. So I can find out how long the first owner had it, if there's been any number plate changes, or if it's been in an accident or whatever. So I'm just going to do a car vertical now, and we'll see what the story is with the car. As you can see on the car vertical check, it's came back a full house. Everything is good on it, and it just basically breaks down telling you about damage, spec, MOT history, etc, etc. Quite satisfied with the result with that. Just along the timeline, just basically says about all of his inspections, and yeah, I would say it's pretty decent. Right, it's -4 here, and it's Wednesday morning. Absolutely flaming Baltic. I charged the battery on this overnight, and that's it, got a full charge. Took a charge fine. Defrosted it this morning. Started first turn of the key. Well, it's a cold, wet Friday morning, and I'm struggling to get motivation. But I'm going to need to approach the elephant in the room, and I'm going to do the water pipe on the Mini, and hope that stops the water escaping. I've only been told that that's where it's been identified to be coming from, so I'm taking their word for it. I've no reason to doubt them, so I'm going to approach that, and I'll do a video on how it's done. Now bear in mind, this will be my first time doing such water pipe on a Mini. It's just as new to me as it will be for you. If you're watching this video and you're wanting to know how it's done, then this is how I'm doing it as I go along. If I make any mistakes, at the end of the day, we're only human. Okay, many people say that you can do this without removing this and getting it from underneath, but I don't have a ramp to do it. I'm just going to do it from the top and hope for the best. Release 10 mils. Safe in a dish. That was easy enough. Looks like an absolute shipping mix just to get into it. But by the looks of it, at the back of the engine, you have 13mm, 5 of them by the looks of it, all the way along. We're going to loosen these here first with the hand ratchet, and then put the battery ratchet on. This here one is going to be a bit fiddly to get into. I think what I need to do is take that rubber pipe off. Okay, I've got a 13mm in here that I can't get to, so assuming if I take this off, I'll be able to get into where this pipe is and move it down the way. It seems to be a breather pipe going down. If I can get that off, it'll allow me access into that 13mm. With a stubby flathead screwdriver, undo the jubilee clip. Take this off, yep. And so it looks like the breather pipe on this here is actually quite brittle. Someone's had to go at fixing it as well. I think quite possibly somebody's been in at this. Just remove this here one by hand, and then do the rest with the battery ratchet. That breather pipe, I'll get a look at it once this is off, just in case I can maybe make something up for it. Undo this here little sensor as well. Right, this should lift off, but I think we've got some breather pipes underneath as well. That's not connected. Right, there's another switch, another sensor. That's it loosened. Let's get that one off as well. So there's another little plug underneath. Take the screwdriver. At the bottom of this, you'll see there's a little plug. That's the plug I want off. There's still a harness on it, but that's allowing me clear access into where I need to work. Okay, so get the light in. Okay, so this plastic pipe running along here is supposedly the culprit. So this is 100% where the leak's coming from. See down here? Right, it comes from down below. Leaks right here. Seems to be a common problem with them, because there's never really any movement. think the thermostat housing is going to need to be disconnected, so I'll need to undo all the pipes and undo a plug, and I think the thermostat housing will probably be held on with 10 mils maybe. Okay, so I've got all the water pipes off, so you've got one that goes under here, this here one that goes here, and then round this side you've got one that goes in at the top, right, this here one goes in at the bottom, this here one goes in at the top. Here you've got a plug as well. It definitely is 10 mils that hold that thermostat housing on. Okay, so I've now got it off. Wow, that was mad. Right, so you'll see here, this has been the problem. This is cracked all the way around, causing the water to go out. So you could potentially fake your Mini if you don't get a water leak sorted. So let's compare it with the other one. Here we go, new one versus old one. You get a clip with the new one as well. They are just flimsy plastic. Why can't they make these out of metal or something? Right, so I'll get this on. Nothing else for it. Sorry this video was so boring, but hey ho. A little tip when you're offering up the new one, just spray a little bit of WD-40 on this and it'll slide on. So we're getting the new pipe on. Right, so just so that you know, when you're putting the new pipe on, there is a little groove and a dowel. So basically you're lining them up and then obviously pressing down. Okay, so it's seated in place. And that's when you put your little clip in. So you push this together and slide it in, and then that'll be it nice and tight. Obviously try to gently pull it apart just to make sure that you're seated correctly. So now that we're in seated correctly, you need to make sure that your gasket on your thermostat housing is still in place, because you don't want to go to the extent of putting this all back together again and that not being in. Be sure whenever you're putting your thermostat housing in with this pipe that it's lined up perfect here, because failure to do so when you put this in, this could quite possibly go in at an angle and you might have your O-ring hanging out, which you really do not want. Okay, so we're cooking with gas now. Thermostat housing's now on and it's lined up perfect at the water pump. So what we're going to do next is get the water pipes on and then find all the sockets for the plugs as well and get that all linked up. This here job is going arms and legs. That breather pipe is being a right pain. So I phoned my parts supplier and they can't get one until tomorrow. I need something now. So I'm going to try and make a quick fix one out of a garden hose pipe, which will be ample. So hopefully I can get this thing ship shape. So the crazy inventor has made this. Right, and obviously I want to protect this from chaffing. So basically what I'll do, I'll get this on and I'll get the inlet manifold on and then I'll shape this as I need it. I might need to use a bit of heat to get it into shape, but you just got to do what you got to do, I suppose. Right, so it's all fitting into place now where all the plugs and that are concerned. We just got to get all these 13mm nuts on. Just trying to water the now before I put antifreeze in it. tighten the Jubilee clip up off the pipe that goes on to your throttle body. Well, that was a super annoying ordeal. Managed to bleed the system. If you're in this here situation, always make sure you bleed the system. So what you need to do is jack the vehicle up, or if you've got drive on ramps, just make sure it's up, engine up, so your expansion bottle is really the highest point. Whenever you're circulating the water around the engine, it'll get all the air bubbles out the top. That's all the air out the system. It was bubbling away like a volcano. It's calmed down now, so I'll take it a little run and I'll just get antifreeze in it tomorrow. Obviously if it's frosty overnight, I'm not going near it, but I'll put antifreeze in it tomorrow if we haven't woke up to a freeze. But what if a lava? It's been so annoying doing this. It's just fiddly more than anything. Okay, I took the Mini run. I had the top down plugged in as well, checking the temperature as well, and it didn't overheat. It hasn't lost any water as well. I also rescanned it and there's absolutely no fault codes coming up. So tomorrow's another day. You usually find, sometimes if there is, I'll phone round and see if I can get some prices, and hopefully this will be a cheap but highly profitable £500 challenge. So fingers crossed. I've noticed there's a big dip in the market now, so whether this gets decent money, that's another thing. But it starts, it drives, it pulls alright for a 1.4. It's hardly frightening, but cozy little car. So I think we're on to a good one with it anyway. Faults, obviously the engine management light will come up straight away. There's ones that are intermittent. They could go out and not come back, or they could come back tomorrow. So we'll do a little scan tomorrow. But I'm pretty satisfied with what I've done. Also put a bit of grease on the lever for opening the bonnet as well, because it was a bit tight. And I've also done the doors as well. So all being well, there doesn't seem to be a misfire no more. So I'm assuming that the broken breather pipe on the inlet has been causing it to go a bit haywire, because there's no codes for misfire. So to me that is positive. If it has solved it, I'm just going to get it in and get it validated. So a quick update on the breather pipe from the crankcase to the inlet manifold. Obviously I was rushing to get it put back together again to see if the temporary repair solved the misfire, because I didn't want to start throwing money into it before I found out the misfire was away. So I've got the brand spanking new one, and it's a Gates as well, which is a very good make that I quite like using. So we're going to get this here fitted and get it off for just a mini valet. To be honest, the car isn't offensively bad, and I think a mini valet will make it stand out. I'll get it advertised and hopefully get it sold. So I never thought I'd be able to do it and get this vehicle done on one video. So buying it, fixing it and getting it advertised. So whew, it's been quite an enjoyable job, to be honest. I'm not going to bother with a tripod for the camera. I'm just going to batter on with it and just show you a before and after, because it is blowing a gale today. The weather is really windy. Feels quite cold as well, but on a plus side, it's dry. Right, so just going to do the process again, strip this off to get to this here breather pipe. So right, I'll see you in a minute. Well, a minute in your time, like probably a half an hour in my time. Well, I've got the new one on and it's only 10 minutes in. It's just fiddly getting the proper one back on. just very tight, and now I can see why they break. So I've got the nuts on the inlet. I've managed to lose 2 of them and can't seem to retrieve them. So I've got 2 new ones I'm going to put on, and then put the airbox back on and take it a run. Right, false alarm, I managed to retrieve them both. They were on the subframe, the bottom of the engine. Well, one was on the subframe and the other one was on the gearbox. So that's that problem sorted. So that'll be that. We're just going to go and take it a little run, and then wait till the validators open, because it's 8 o'clock in the morning and they're lazy and they don't open till 10. Something that was playing on my mind when I was changing the water pipe and the breather pipe from the inlet to the crankshaft case, the vanos solenoids, although they're not coming up as having problems or anything, they are a problematic part. So preemptively I've bought 2 brand spanking new ones to put on it, so we'll get the both of them fitted as well, and it'll make good content for you. What you want to do with your pick is undo the plug and slide it off. Occasionally these are held in with a T30 Torque. On this occasion it's a 10mm bolt. Just give it a gentle persuasion, not too much. Just skim it from side to side. The last thing you want to do is break the shaft off inside. It isn't common, but it has been known to happen. So there we go. That's the old one. Stage 1 complete. That's as easy as it is. Okay, so the other vanos solenoid is just down here. You can't really access it without removing the airbox, so we're going to do that. Okay, so flathead screwdriver at the back, and undo the googly clip that holds the intake pipe on. So at the back of the engine, beside the inlet manifold, you've got your vanos solenoid here, and just above it is your 10mm. Undo the plug with your pick and undo the 10mm and gently release it like what you've done at the front of the engine. In my own personal opinion, I feel it's false economy just to replace one. It's better just replacing both of them at the same time. The thing is, with doing the back one, it's actually better access. See how low you need to take the airbox off? That's a bit of a pain. Obviously you don't have your landing panel in the way. This one looks quite manky. It is important to spray some electrical contact cleaner on the plugs before you put them back in. We'll get back up again. Okay, as you can see, the engine management light is illuminated. So what we're going to do is plug the top down in. And give it a read, then delete it and see if anything comes back. The OBD2 port is just right above where your accelerator is, just above there. So we'll give it a little start again. Automatic choke. Right, I'm gonna turn it off and give it another read again. Right, okay, so far so good, nothing has came back, so we'll take it out a road test and then see where we stand with that. The little Mini has come up really good with the Mini valet, which I had no doubt in my head that it would. Great little car all round. Now give or take a couple of little tiny dents and tiny scratches, and I would say the wheels, you can see the lacquer that started to come off the wheels. I would say it's in generally good condition, and I noticed even over the light hits this in a certain way. I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but this here's had stripes on it at one stage, and you can understand why somebody would remove them, to be honest. Inside's quite nice as well. I didn't go for a full valet, like the seats could quite possibly do with being shampooed. But it's in generally nice condition inside, and I would say the new owner would be pretty happy with it. That's if the car behaves itself, because you guys watching this, if you know much about Minis, you know that they can be quite temperamental. But she's decent, seems to be one of the decent ones, 118,000 mile and a full service history too. But what more could you ask for? So it is what it is, eh? And hopefully we get a decent little profit on this here when we go to sell it. One video, I've done this in one video turnaround. Now, most of you, your arse is probably nipping buttons and you just want to know how much I paid for that car. I paid £250 for that car, you know. I've not spent a lot on it. Like water pipe, $9.99 off Amazon. The vanos system I think was like 30 quid. You buy two of them, and they have like a 5-year warranty. I don't know what they're warranted for or how you would go about proving, but 30 quid, can't grumble. And also that breather pipe. That breather pipe was about 24 quid. You know, so I've not spent a lot, and I think the Mini valet was £20, £25, I can't remember. So I haven't spent a lot on it, I just put my time on it. So it only really owes me 350 quid for argument's sake. Obviously collecting it as well, so put on an extra 50 quid, so it only really owes me 400 quid. So aye, these wee cars, they're still shifting. And I reckon there's a good solid £2.5 in that. It's MOT till July. It looks the part. It's got a service history as well. I wouldn't say the service history is screaming great, because it's not. You know, it's been different independent garages that have serviced it. The first service was done from like Arnold Clark. So when you look at it that way, it has been maintained, and it had all them new parts fitted in that just before I got it. So looking at it that way, somebody is going to get a little bargain. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for the next one. I don't know when it'll be, but I'm just throwing them out. There's no consistent like times that I put stuff out. I just put it out whenever. thump the like and subscribe button, and please comment below. Let me know what you thought of the video, because your opinion counts.